Hey, it's August 23rd, and I've come up here to the top of the garden on the trellis system up here. Got a couple of HoneyCrisp trees. I'm going to pick those today. Let's talk about HoneyCrisp here in southern Indiana for just a minute. Boy, whatever happened to picking apples in sweatshirts and long pants? Okay, here is HoneyCrisp. I've got two trees here, two dwarf trees on this trellis system. And as I mentioned before, this trellis system is a hodgepodge of different trees just for trials. If I get this in the background, do not be alarmed. This is my buddy Henry. Henry scares away some birds out here. He's not doing the best job, but he's doing okay. But these HoneyCrisp trees, a little bit of a love-hate with these things here in southern Indiana. So it's a good apple. Of course, it's HoneyCrisp. The problems I've had with HoneyCrisp here, and I would have just said originally, nah, it's not for southern Indiana, but I didn't want to take the trees out. I had a lot of problems with bitter rot on these apples in years past. This year, despite the heavy rains in July and August, it's of course not raining today. It's pretty warm. It's about 90 degrees and humid today, but the management on the trees has been better this year. So we can cross that off as a plus. And I've had very little bitter rot on these two trees. Bitter rot really shows up in August, just right about the time the apples are beginning to ripen. It just comes on real quick too. So you see that spot on that apple right there. I don't know if I'm getting that. There, you can kind of see it in the background. It's not focusing, but that's probably the start of some bitter rot back there. But all in all, the apples are pretty clean this year. They look really good. I'm coming in to pick them now. We had one about a week ago, and it was just a little bit tart yet. Certainly the texture was right on, but the apple itself was a little bit tart. So I didn't pick them. I had one today, and the texture was a little softer, and I just don't want to let them go any longer. This kind of weather that we're having today is the kind of weather that I think really hurts these HoneyCrisp in southern Indiana when they're ripe, coming on ripe, and you got 90 degrees, hot and humid. It's supposed to be this way all week. So I'm going to pick the ones that are colored up today, and we'll make a few bags out of these. They're good. They're not quite as firm as a HoneyCrisp you might grow in Michigan, but see, they just come off about breathing on them. They're not quite as firm as what you might expect, but HoneyCrisp is not a hard apple by any means. But it's tender, it's crisp, juicy, it's got that HoneyCrisp flavor. And these really colored up very nice this year. That's another problem I have with HoneyCrisp here in southern Indiana, is they don't want to color up real well. This year they've done very good. So just a couple of pluses. We kept the bitter rot out. We got them to color up, and I'm gonna pick a basket full here of these HoneyCrisp right here in the backyard. A couple of trees in your backyard orchard, and your family can enjoy a lot of HoneyCrisp apples. Just take a look at all those apples on two trees. Now, I will confess, I've probably overcropped these trees again, and next year is going to be pretty slim. I seem to have a biennial problem with HoneyCrisp. That's common to the variety, and I haven't learned my lesson yet. So next year is not going to be a good one for HoneyCrisp. Probably should have thinned these down about another third. But oh well, we'll learn next time. This is HoneyCrisp, southern Indiana. It does grow here. It is a good apple. We'll take a look when we get finished and just see what all we got off of here. I see one with bitter rot up here at the top. I don't know if I can get you up there for a look. And I don't know if you can see that. But there was one up there with some bitter rot in it that I can see. I'll pull it out later. Okay, it's time to get to picking test. Okay, here is the tally on the HoneyCrisp trees. You can see this is substantially less than we got off of the 2 Gala trees. Both of them dwarfs, both of them on the same rootstock, but just remember the Galas are on a vertical axis, so those trees just are bigger trees. These HoneyCrisp that we just picked from just happen to be a little bit stunted because of the overcropping in the early years. They're hardly to the top wire at this point, but these were really the best of the best with these apples that are in this crate here. I'm happy with the coloration. Of course, certainly they're not completely covered with a red mottling, but I'm happy with the coloration. The fruit size was good. I had some smalls. If they were edible smalls, I'll put them in here. If not, they go out as deer chow. But the apples, yeah, there's a spot there. Not a bad spot, so we can live with that one. Certainly the number 2s, the ones that we'll get into first, are here, and this one's probably going to go for deer food. That shouldn't be in there. But largely we go through these pretty quick here at the house. Just consume them ourselves, and then we'll bag these up, and we'll probably sell a few of these, but there's not too many to rave about. I left a lot on the tree just because of coloration. They were not colored up yet. I would imagine we'll be picking those here in another week, and we'll probably get another half of a box out of those. So total on the tree, you're probably looking at a bushel right there, and I'm going to say we've got another half a bushel on the trees, so 1.5 bushel on those 2 tall spindle trees. That's about right, 3/4 a bushel per tree. And don't forget, the opossum has been wearing those things out. I've lost probably 3 dozen fruits here in the last week to that opossum. So wish we'd have had those. But that's the life of an apple orchardist. By the way, Mr. Opossum's in the trap right now, and he's going to be taken to a place far, far and away. Thanks for watching.